those things I've done my entire life. And the whole idea for me has always been one of the things where I'm focusing on what is the next thing? What do I have that I can offer? What are the things that matter the very most to other people that I could put together either product or a service or something that I could then sell? And whether I dove deeply into marketing and did a ton of marketing to help other companies market, did a lot during real estate, did a lot with people who had their own.
Welcome to the Gentleman Success, Happiness, and Fulfillment Talk podcast, where we bring to you the most successful, happy, fulfilled gentlemen from around the world who have been able to conquer themselves, their life, their marriage, and their businesses. You will be learning from four-dimensional gentlemen who have cracked the code to the science of having it all. The question is, how can married entrepreneurs with kids become gentlemen, achieve true freedom, and build a successful, happy, and fulfilled life, marriage, and business? This show will give you the answer for that. My name is Alex Ramirez, and I'm your host, and you're welcome to the Gentleman Success, Happiness, Fulfillment Talk podcast.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Gentleman Success, Happiness, and Fulfillment Talk with Alex Ramirez. Today, I have an incredible guest. As you can see on his background, he has really cool stuff. Before I introduce him to you, though, I just want to give a big shout out to all of you who have been leaving comments, reviews, likes on all the major podcasting platforms, Apple, Google, Spotify, and to those who have been watching on YouTube as well, thank you. And today I have Dave Woodward. Is that how you say your name, man?
Yep, exactly.
Awesome.
Dave Woodward.
Dave Woodward, awesome. And he's a family man. He's a devoted family man, entrepreneur. And so Dave Woodward graduated from Brigham Young University, and he met Russell Brunson and Todd Dickerson, the two founders of Clickfunnels back in 2014 when the company was a startup. And they connected. They felt you felt connected. Things were aligned. You helped them. You became the chief revenue officer, and the rest is history, right? Like, it was a really bad introduction, man, but I think everyone knows Clickfunnels, and I'm very excited to talk to you, man. Thank you very much for being here, and I really appreciate you being here.
My pleasure.
So, Dave, the first thing that I do with my guests is I tell them to walk us through their entrepreneurial journey in 75 seconds or less.
So for me, as far as being an entrepreneur, it's been one of those things I've done my entire life. And the whole idea for me has always been one of the things where I'm focusing on what is the next thing? What do I have that I can offer? What are the things that matter the very most to other people that I could put together either product or a service or something that I could then sell? And whether I dove deeply into marketing and did a ton of marketing to help other companies market, did a lot during real estate, did a lot with people who had their own businesses, trying to scale and grow and build that. And that was prior to ClickFunnels. Once we started ClickFunnels, that was a massive focus on doing everything we possibly could to scale and grow and build other people's businesses by using the software that actually makes a massive difference. And that's been the part that has been such a great ride, is to see everybody, as we're working with other entrepreneurs to help them scale and grow and build their business, where they actually get success. And whether it's a 2 Comma Club where they make their first million, or our 2CCX where it's 10 million, or our 2CCC where it's in the 25, 50, 75, 100 million. The whole idea is, how do you help people scale and grow their businesses? And that's been my primary focus.
That was amazing, man. And I think this, what you just said, is like the definition of a quote that I really like, that if you help other people get what they want, you'll get what you want.
Yep,
and that's what you've been doing for the past, 10, I don't know how many years.
I've been doing that my whole life, but with ClickFunnels for the last almost 8 years now.
Awesome. So one thing that I want to talk about is how did you meet Russell Brunson and Todd Dickerson? Because I'm into networking, right? So this podcast, I started my podcast 6 months ago. So far, 72 interviews with high level 6, 7, 8, and even 9-figure entrepreneurs. It's completely been life changing. The biggest benefit from doing this has been my own change in identity, man. The way that I see myself. Right? I've had 72 interviews, and every time I get on one of these, it's holding a big mirror in front of me. And I'm able to see like all the good things that I have, and I'm able to see all the things that I haven't yet developed. So it's been great. And like so like you have this slogan, right? You're one funnel away. Well, I say you're one connection away, right? I've experienced like massive changes in my life just because I met one person. So like an example, I had a 10-year goal of speaking in front of hundreds of people, at an event, right? By 30, I thought I was going to be doing that. I'm 21 right now. And because of my podcast, the people and opportunities that I've been surrounding myself with, I'm going to be doing that this year. And then I'm going to be throwing my own events as well starting next year. So it's all because I met one person, right? So like, I bet, like meeting Russell and Todd, like was life changing. So can you talk a little bit about that?
Sure. I actually met Russell prior to ClickFunnels. We met, probably 6 years before we even started doing anything as far as ClickFunnels. And so I was actually had my own marketing business and scaling and growing and building. And a lot of this was like 2008. A lot of our people who we were working with wanted to find some way of scaling and growing their business and wanted to do it all online. It was at that time where I reached out and found Russell speaking at an event, his event. I went to that event, and that's really where we met. And again, that was 2008. I remember when he was up there on stage and said, hey, if you guys would like to get to know me better, all you need to do is go to the back and sign up for lunch or dinner or something like that. And so I ran to the back and I signed up and basically signed up for each breakfast, lunch, and dinner they had for the next 3 days. And that's where we met. We became great friends, and we were deeper friends prior to ClickFunnels even starting. Over the next couple of years, as Todd was then brought in prior to ClickFunnels, I had the opportunity of meeting Todd as I was flying up here to Boise. I was in San Diego at the time, and I come up here, and it was amazing I think it's the part I enjoy the most. When you look at scaling and growing and building a business, the most important part are the people. And again, huge blessing for me to have the opportunity of knowing both Todd and Russell. And I think the most important part is you take a look, again, we have an event every single year, Funnel Hacking Live. And if you're wanting to get to know people or anything else, you'll have, 5,000, 7,000 people who are there. And the whole idea is to get to know people who are actually going through your same journey, find out how you can actually do it. So again, if you wanted that's funnelhackinglive.com.
Awesome. So then you met them, you became friends with them. And like, how did you get into, building, how did you get the opportunity to build ClickFunnels along Russell and Todd? Like, what was the value that you had?
Yeah, great question. So for me, I'm the guy who's got the face and the voice who's out in front of people all the time. And I have no problem going out and dealing with those things. Both, Todd and Russell are amazing at their skill sets there's not a better marketer than Russell. There's no one at all. And he's had the opportunity of teaching at so many different places and marketing and helping other people grow. And Todd is by far the best person when it comes to development. The guy has got the craziest software he's created. And we created ClickFunnels 1.0. He's now creating ClickFunnels 2.0. And the whole idea there was finding, how do you get a guy I don't mind being out there, being the monkey, jumping around, getting attention, doing everything else, and working with other people. And that's really been the main thing I focused on, is how do you scale and grow and build in connecting with those people on an ongoing basis forever and ever and ever. And that's the thing I've always enjoyed. In fact, if you want to continue, one of this, it was, 2015 is when we launched it. 2014, 2015, we were at TNC, and Russell was speaking there, and we were in the back of TNC. We had our booth set up and everything else, but we were kind of a little bit of a distance from it. And we were trying to get people to actually come and see Russell speak. And they're like, we just can't get enough people. There was no real advertisement. There was no way of marketing to the people who were actually there. And Russell was like, you know what? If there was a way we could just have, just a bunch of girls just inviting people into the event and giving t-shirts away or anything else, that would be awesome. Once we get them there, Russell's like, I'll close everyone is there. And so I said, you know what, San Diego, that's my place. I have no problem doing that. And so we went out, knew a couple girls, brought them in, and they did exactly that. And it was one of those things where by getting enough people, their attention, and changing, again, when you're at an event, you got to find something that's massive marketing, something very, very quick, something that's quick and fast and get people's attention. And for us, those t-shirts got a lot of attention real fast. People were excited about it. And that's what, again, it's one of those things where for me, my whole thing was, what can I do to help get more people here as fast as we possibly can? And Russell is the very best presenter, closer, nothing like it. And sure enough, when he was on stage, we had the event totally full and people were just going crazy.
So you help ClickFunnels, you help the company as revenue chief officer, something like that. Yeah, right.
I've done that for a long time.
Okay, so then your job is like bringing people in, right? Or like what is it that you do? What is it that like it's your gift?
No, I run the whole thing now.
Cool. Oh yeah, you're the CEO now, right? So awesome, man. Yeah, that's incredible. So so is that like the main thing that you do right now?
Yes.
Okay. And man, how old are you?
56 actually.
Cool.
Just turned 56.
I haven't met you in person, but you look pretty good. You look really good. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
So I come from a culture in which like at 40 you're done. Like I saw my parents, my uncles, and like at 40 you have like this belly and they're just done, right? And like just surrounding myself with other people in which that's not the case, it's really inspiring because I don't want to be done by 40. How do you feel? Do you feel like you're just getting started?
Man, that's a whole nother podcast. I've actually just 8 months ago, they found out I had a brain tumor. And so I've actually been going through cancer treatment and everything else for the last 8 months. And so it's been a crazy ride, but I'm so grateful for Todd and Russell, my partners, and everyone else involved. And without them, it would have made this very, very difficult. And I've been again, it goes back to the whole idea as far as your friends, your family, the same stuff you were talking about. I've been married 28 years. I've had friends for decades. And I think those are things that truly do matter. As you scale and grow your business, you also do the same on your family.
Yeah, and sorry to hear that. I'm glad that you have a lot of very important people that are supporting you through the journey, and it's awesome to hear that you're grateful. So let's see. So what would you like for entrepreneurs to hear? What would you love for like any entrepreneur that listens to this? Any married entrepreneur with kids trying to make it work? Like their main problem is always seems to be the money. So like, what would you like them to hear?
Yeah, I think is for any, again, you start talking as far as entrepreneur, we talk about this with ClickFunnels all the time. You're one funnel away, and that funnel is a product, it's a service. It's something that allows you the opportunity of getting some way that you can actually provide value to those people who you're selling that product to. And for me, the main thing as I take a look at working with entrepreneurs, the whole idea is to realize that there's ups and downs as being an entrepreneur, but the key is, what is your focus? What are you trying to go to? What is the things that matter the most? How are you going to be able to go out and actually provide so much value to your customers that there's nothing else? I mean, there's no other product, there's no other service that can actually solve the questions, solve the problem, everything that you're trying to get out. The key is you got to find a way of getting your face, your volume, your every single thing you possibly can to get that out. Again, you take a look at ClickFunnels, whether it's been Russell's, 4 different books, or we've got 3 books of traffic secrets, expert secrets, .com secrets. All 3 of those books are the most amazing books out there because he literally gives everything out. And I think the key here is, as you're looking at scaling and growing and building your business, you need to follow those people who have already done those types of things. So again, definitely, if you haven't gotten the books, by all means, go get a copy of the book. They're free. The whole idea behind it is to make sure that you actually are following those people who've already been down the path that you're trying to go. And that's exactly what Russell's done. And whether it's, what should I say? Well, that's going to be obviously expert secrets. How do you actually convey that message? How do you get that message out there? .com secrets is going to be, how do you actually build the funnel? How do you actually get those things out there? Traffic secrets is, how do you actually get traffic to then sell your products and services? So I highly recommend that you go ahead and take a look at those things, because those are the things that matter the very, very most. And I think the whole idea for anybody who's out there who's trying to find some way of growing and scaling and building their business, they have to find someone who's already gone through it. They have to find someone who's already been down that path. Too often we try to do it ourselves. If you're trying to do it yourselves, you're going to stumble and trip and fall over and over and over again. The fastest way always is to find those people who have been there and then follow them.
100%. And that's one of the reasons why I selfishly started this podcast, right? I started it to like fulfill my purpose of helping other people, but at the same time for me, right? It was first for me, then for other people. So, I'm just curious, like how does a day in the life of a CEO of a like I don't know how much is ClickFunnels doing right now? Like hundreds of millions?
Yeah.
Right? So how does a day of a CEO that runs a company like that looks like?
I think again, it always goes back to your customers. What are the products? What are the services they need? How do you actually make sure that you're providing everything they need so you can have them continue on an ongoing basis, especially for a SaaS company like ours? It's more than just getting one product sold. It's how long are they going to stick with us? What can we do to make sure that they're there? What can we do to provide the services that help them get the things that they're really trying to go for and get? And then most importantly, then to use them. And that's why we've done so much. One thing is to provide the software. The other thing is to provide all the education behind it. And so when you start looking at providing the education along with the software, those are the things that have actually changed. Those are the things that made a massive difference in why, when you look at software, what actually makes people use the software is how do they actually do it. And we've been fortunate that our support is amazing because they actually teach you and go through it. Obviously, Russell does a ton of that teaching and training. And you take a look at the actual funnel that we go through to get people into ClickFunnels, it's all about them. What are the things that matter to them? How do we get the service? How do you get what it is that you're trying to do? And so I take a look at, again, you go to clickfunnels.com if you want to see it and actually go through a sales funnel like that. You'll see every single thing that's needed to then help actually promote again, that's a 14-day free trial. And so by going there, you can actually see all the work that's done to get someone to just take a 14-day free trial. Once they take that 14-day free trial, then it's what are the additional marketing things that you can do during the trial? How can you get support? Because realize the whole idea, no matter what product or service you have, you've got to get people to consume it. You've got to get people to use it. You've got to have people go, oh my gosh.
Hey, sorry for the interruption. I just wanted to tell you that this podcast has completely changed my life in ways that you could never imagine, and I would like the same for you. Look, you are the average of the 5 people you surround yourself with, and the fastest way for you to level yourself up in every area of your life is for you to connect with people who are where you want to be, build relationships with them, and connect with them. The best way for you to do that right now in the digital age is for you to start your own podcast. And I just wanted to let you know that I have a free training that you can get free access to. It's called the 30-Day Net Worth Skyrocketing 3-Step Podcast Cloak Track Framework. And it's going to show you how you can start and automate everything in your podcast, from finding your ideal guest, getting them on an interview with you, and creating an automated content machine in just 30 days. By executing on this free training, you're going to be able to connect with high-level people, no matter how rich, famous, or out of your league they may seem, in just 30 days with less than 1 to 2 hours per week, so that you can increase your net worth, your authority, your trust, your client acquisition ability, and your opportunity. So there's a special link for this free training in the description of this video. Thank you for watching and tuning in, and I hope you enjoy the rest of this episode. Bye-bye.
Need more of that. How do I get more? What do I need to do more? And so for me, when I'm taking a look at growing and scaling and building any business, the whole idea behind it is what are the things that we can do to make sure they have success, that they're meeting their dreams and their dreams are coming true, and that they're doing everything they possibly can to have the success they're looking for.
That's great insight. And like the number one thing for marketing is focusing on your who, which I think, you, Todd, and Russell Brunson are excellent at doing, focusing on your who and just focusing on like the consumer, focusing on the right, like the clients, and just giving them high level service. And that's one of the reasons why entrepreneurs fail, right? I've had a problem with like focusing on my who, like even finding what my who is, or like my ideal client, have been challenging, at times. And that's like, I think the number one thing that holds entrepreneurs back, that they don't know who they're targeting. And that's something that, Rosa talks a lot about ClickFunnels, about like identifying your who, and then crafting a message to be able to, right, to be able to like target them. So do you have any advice on that? Like, why is that? What does that? I mean, it's a very simple concept, but like when you do it, it's a little bit difficult.
Yeah, I think the key here is you got to find out exactly who is your who. It's one of those things to say, all I care is that anybody buys my product. that's not how it works. You've got to have a product or a service or a tool that helps someone actually achieve that. And whether it's just satisfaction and happiness and a happiness type of thing, if it's something where you're helping people overcome a problem, if it's something where you have to realize that every single person that you talk to, every single person that you work with, the whole idea is they've got something that they're trying to achieve. And if you're just trying to sell anything to anybody, that won't ever work. And you've got to find out pick one thing that really matters. If you could change anything, what's the one thing that matters the most? Pick that one thing and then go all in on that. If that's the thing that you know that your client needs, that's what they're willing to pay. That's where you can focus. When you try to go after just doing everything for everybody, it doesn't separate you. Again, you take a look. I don't care if it's sports. I don't care if it's medicine. I don't care if it's a meal, whatever you're looking at, there's always something where those people who are the very, very best in certain areas, those are the ones where people go, oh my gosh, I want more of that. How do I get more of him? How do I get more of that? Again, NFTs and all those crazy stuff that's going on right now. Same thing. People are curious about it. How do I get that? Everyone's looking for one thing. And so when you think you're going to sell or provide everything just to make money, that's not the right answer. You've got to pick something that is going to solve the problem the person has. And the faster you can solve that problem, the greater success you're going to have.
Focus is crucial, right? And that's something that a lot of entrepreneurs lack, especially with the NFTs. Everyone thinks that the grass is greener on the other side, right? But the grass is greener where you water it and when you take care of it, and when you take time to like actually get to know your customer. That's where the grass is going to get green. So Dave, I'm curious, like, what do you see? With everything going on, NFTs, metaverse, and all of this, new stuff coming up. What's the future of ClickFunnels? Like, what are you doing? What are you venturing on? Yeah, so I'm curious about that.
Well, I can tell you, we just did. So again, Funnel Hacking Live is in September. Again, we're expecting 5,000 to 7,000 people there. And when you start taking a look at that, you're going, well, what are some of the things that people are talking about? What do they need to buy? And so again, NFT thing came up, and it was a great idea where we basically offered every single person who's ever been to. We went through, again, this will be our 8th one. We've done 7 different funnel hacking lives. And so when we started this back in 2015, NFTs didn't exist. And so what we decided to do this time was, since people are asking about this, talking about it, we thought, what if we actually offer anybody a free NFT that is unique for the actual event that they did. So we went through, we have the most amazing team. I cannot ever express enough gratitude to our team. So they actually designed the NFT that was custom for that event. So they created 7 different NFTs from 2015 through 2021. And they got a free NFT only if they had attended that event. So if they attended that event, they qualified for an NFT, and they got it if they bought to attend Funnel Hacking Live 2022 this spring or this fall. So by going ahead and buying your ticket, you got a free NFT. In fact, if you've been to 2 or 3 of them, you got 2 or 3 NFTs for the actual events that you had been through. And so we have a ton of excitement and people going, oh my gosh, I get an NFT that's all around that. Again, the whole idea here is to be able to tie something like an NFT into all the talk and the communication, everything else. But really what we're doing is we're selling tickets to Funnel Hacking Live 2022 that's in September. And so if you've been in one of the past, you get all those for free. And when you buy your ticket, you also get one that will be an NFT that will be created after 2022. And so again, it's by being out there and talking and having the communication and doing those things that matter the most at this level. And that's why it was a great thing. And we look forward to see kind of how many additional Funnel Hacking Live NFTs that we have. So again, if they're listening to this, they've been there and they didn't realize it, they just have to go to fhlnft.com, and that's how they get theirs.
That's amazing. That's really amazing, because like NFTs is all about community, about building community, building a tribe, which you've done an excellent job at it. Like if you go to a Funnel Hacking Live event, you can see it. You can not only see it, but feel it, which is absolutely more important, right? And so do you also give NFTs to anyone? Like, if let's say that you've never been to a Funnel Hacking Live before and you buy a ticket to go this year, do you also get an NFT or no?
For this year, you will.
You will?
Yes.
That's amazing. Yeah. It's a great idea, man. I actually heard it before, right? Because if you give an NFT to someone instead of them buying the ticket, right? So like the NFT will be kind of the ticket, and then like you're building community, and then they're like inspired to stay with the community, to grow the community, and so you get like affiliate marketers, like in a way. So it's a really good idea. I've heard about it. So yeah, is it hard like doing the NFT stuff? Would you recommend it to anyone?
You know what? Creating all that kind of stuff. I'm grateful we had people on our team who did it. I haven't done those before, but I'm grateful that our team did.
Awesome. So let's see. So man, we have about 10 minutes. I just want to make sure that I have enough time to like ask 5 questions that I end my interviews with. And the first question is, if you could go back in time, right, to give your 20-year-old self some advice, not change your life or redo anything, just give your 20-year-old self some advice, what would that be?
The main advice is I would make sure that you find out what you really want to do and focus on it. I think too often we're just worried about making some money, paying the bills and everything else, and you don't focus on what matters the most to you. If you focus on what really matters to you, especially as an entrepreneur, you're going to go through some heartache and everything else. But by doing that, you're going to get there much faster than just kind of what happens too often for most entrepreneurs. They just kind of daggle around and don't go all in. The whole idea here is pick your service, go after it, and do it as fast as you can. Speed does matter.
Awesome. Go as fast as you can. Speed doesn't matter, you said, or speed does matter?
It does. It does matter. And the faster you can get into that kind of stuff, because you learn things at much faster pace.
Okay. So speed matter, but also like, I just want to add as in direction matters as well. That's why you got to figure out like, what is it that you want to do? Make sure you like it. And then once you figured out the direction, go all in and like go full on. Yeah.
There was Russell used to have on this wall there was ready, fire, aim. And I think that is great advice, because what happens so much for an entrepreneur is they're ready, aim, and they never take that shot. And so the success from a speed standpoint comes back from the whole idea as far as ready, fire, aim, just because you got to take those shots and you got to be fine. You learn more by those people who actually pay for your product and do those types of things than those who think, oh, I'll get there later.
Yeah, awesome. So it's not about getting it perfect, it's about getting it done. Awesome, man. I like that. Ready, fire, aim. Fire, once you do, you'll figure it out in the way. Yeah. So the next question is about mindset. So what is a mindset shift that you've had that you can share that has allowed you to get to where you are right now in your life?
Oh my gosh. As far as mind shift changes all the time. You go through different trials, you go through different things that happen. I think the most important part from a mind shift standpoint is to make sure that you are surrounding yourself by those people who have had success, who have already gone through it, than for you just trying to figure things out by yourself. So find out those people who you can either model, find out those people who have already been down that road, find out whatever you possibly can to scale and grow your business faster. And that's when it comes to that kind of those thoughts, that mind shift matters the most when you look at who am I following?
Yeah, so I've been involved into like mindset coaching for a long time, and like mindset tricks and how to get rid of limiting beliefs, how to build new empowering beliefs, how to like your identity, craft your identity, and all that. And all that is good, but and I'm really into it. Like that's what I really like. Right? I used to call myself a high performance mindset coach, but like the biggest thing for mindset, the best thing that you can do is surround yourself with high level people, and then your mindset will change by
Absolutely.
default.
Totally.
Like you put yourself in the best environment, if you put yourself in the right environment with the type of people that are where you want to be, your mindset and your behavior and your habits and your consistency will change automatically. And that's what's been happening right now with my podcast. Like I think I mentioned this, the biggest benefit for my podcast, from interviewing over 72 high level entrepreneurs has been my changing my own identity. Right. So bigger, better, faster than any other mindset trick that I've applied in the past. what's caused the biggest impact is just like having conversations and surrounding myself, putting myself in the right rooms.
Yeah.
So I think like that's underrated, like incredibly underrated. So can you maybe speak, so like entrepreneurs, they may come up with some excuses as to why they can't or why they won't or whatever. So can you maybe talk a little bit more about that?
About the mind shift?
No, about like how do you surround yourself with high level people if you don't have anything to offer? Or, yeah,
You always have stuff to offer first and foremost. You have to understand not anybody who there's something that you can provide. I don't care if it's taking out the trash. I don't care if it's just being there, whatever you can take off their plate. And I'm a huge believer in do it for free. Do whatever it is, whatever product or service that you're offering. If that you're trying to find the right people, do that one for free. And the more you can do, what you're going to find is by doing more, you're going to get greater benefits.
Awesome. So yeah, so a really good thing to realize is that you always have something to offer. Everyone does.
Yep.
Mindset map. So about map. So do you have any advice or tactic, tool, strategy, anything that you do or use to be clear, like have clarity in your life? Like what would you say to someone looking for clarity, if they want more clarity in their life?
If they want more clarity or you do?
Like if people want more clarity, because like one of the things that people like the most is clarity. Like if you you walk on those streets, you see 100 people and you ask all of them, what do you want? And 99% of them won't be able to tell you, even though like clarity and knowing what you want for your life is one of the most important questions that you should be asking, but they don't know. For some reason, they're not clear, right? So a lot of people like clarity. So what do you say to them?
Yeah, for me, when it comes to clarity, it's figuring out what you think it is, but then you've got to do something. There's too many people who think about stuff all the time and never do anything. The best way to finding clarity is start doing stuff. The more that you do, you're like, oof, you know what? I really didn't like that. I didn't want to go down that path. I better go a different direction. So don't be a clarity person who just talks and doesn't do. You've got to actually start implementing whatever it is you're trying to achieve. And as you do that, you're going to get the results that you're really looking for.
Cool. So then you can gain clarity through action.
Absolutely.
Amazing. Yeah, I've experienced that as well. Right. Like, and it goes back to the ready, fire, aim. Right. So like, get ready, just fire, and then while you're going through the process, you're gonna get more clear whether you like it or not. Right. Instead of just like mentally masturbating of whether you like it or not, just go and experience it. Right. So mindset map, motion. So what is a habit that you have that has contributed to your success?
When it comes to motion.
So like habits, like what is a habit that you have that has contributed to your success?
So for me, I think is control in the morning. The morning's the most important part. And I think that too often people get so many distractions and something else runs their life. The key is you got to find out what it is you're trying to achieve. And what I find is that they start stacking, they go time over time over time. And so for me, I always find, how do you actually control the morning? And whether it's exercise or thought control or writing things down or taking care of yourself or doing different things, you've got to be able to do those things that actually get results by being consistent. And controlling the morning is the most important part for sure.
I agree, man. Like the rest of the day could go nuts, right? Could go back and forth and right and left and in all types of directions. It could be a disaster. But like if you start your day in the same way, if you are in control, it's going to go a lot better, right? So yeah, it's an amazing insight. So I have this framework, right? Mindset, map, motion, measure, money. If you want money, you want results in every single area of your life, you gotta get those four right first. You gotta get your mindset right, you gotta get your map right, like where you are, where you're going, how you're gonna get there. You gotta get your motion right, start taking action, and then measure, which is the last question. So what do you think about measuring and tracking and KPIs? Like how important is that?
Extremely. The biggest problem is most people they just don't care about the measuring. Measuring is what stacks every single day. And the more that you measure on a daily basis, that's the way you can actually start changing things faster. If you're not measuring, you really are not going to get what you want. All of a sudden, you're going to go down a path and not realize, oh my gosh, I'm in a completely different area. And so the whole idea is to measure, and whatever those goals are, again, whether you're looking at financial goals, relationship goals, product goals, service, I don't care what it is, you've got to track those things. And the more often that you can and show yourself where I'm going, am I actually getting those things done? That's what matters the very, very most.
Yeah, at 100% does. And when I first started my entrepreneur journey, I didn't. And most entrepreneurs don't. What do you think is that? Is it because we're just not taught to do it?
Yeah, that, and you think it doesn't matter. You just have, until you've had the opportunity of going down that path and seeing the impact it can have and how changes can actually work, that's what matters most. And so you measure on a daily basis and you go forward and you make things happen.
Yeah, especially with marketing, right? Like cost per click and all the things that you can measure. Yeah, it's really important. So, man, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Dave. We've come to the end, and I just want to ask you, if people want to know more about ClickFunnels, right? There's a lot of people that knows about ClickFunnels, but maybe something that you got going on personally. People want to know more about you. Where should they go?
ClickFunnels.com obviously is the first place we'd send anybody. And so, I always go to ClickFunnels.com. As far as Instagram, Dave S. Woodward is where I am on Instagram, but ClickFunnels.com is what matters most.
Cool. Awesome. Thanks. And do you have anything you personally going on? That you can offer people?
Right now, we're looking at Funnel Hacking Live. That's the most important thing, is getting people there at the live event. And so just go to funnelhackinglive.com and you can see exactly what we go through, what's going to be there, who's going to be speaking, all that kind of stuff. Funnel Hacking Live is what changes people's lives as well. And so I highly recommend you go to funnelhackinglive.com.
Amazing. Well, Dave, thank you very much. And, I agree. And we both talked about this, about one of the most powerful things that you can do is start surrounding yourself with the type of people who are doing the type of things that you want to do. This is what I've been doing, using my podcast. I've been using my podcast as a tool, as a vehicle to help me achieve my goals. And just for anyone out there who wants to, start surrounding themselves with high-level people, with people that are going to help them achieve their goals, but for some reason they haven't been able to. One of the best ways that I did it was through my podcast. So I'm going to have a special link in the description of this video just for the Dave Woodward episode. I don't remember what the link, but it's going to be link/Dave Woodward, right? That is going to take anyone who's interested in starting a podcast through an A to Z free training so that they can start, launch, grow, and automate a $1 million network building podcast. So I'm going to add that in there, man. Thank you very much. And it was great having you. Thank you very much for your time. And hope everything goes well for you, your life. And good luck, man, with everything going on. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Thank you for watching the Gentleman Success, Happiness, and Fulfillment Talk podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, share it with one friend, leave us a comment, and let us know. 99% of people never leave a review or comment, but we love and are very thankful with the 1% of you who do. If there's something or someone you want to see on this podcast, send me a message on Instagram at Alex_Ramirez1020 and let me know. As a thank you for that, I have an amazing surprise for each and every one of you who does take the time to leave us a comment or review on YouTube or one of the major podcasting platforms